Good morning, everyone. Episode 6, Kansas Sports HQ. Sean is driving back from Iowa, so we have Jesse Kollmeyer joining us. Dave Bush here, your host, Sheldon Howell, and our featured guest. So, guys, how was the weekend?
Beautiful weekend. Packers got a W. Can't complain. We played absolute lights out football in the second half yesterday. Little rough in the first half. I ain't gonna lie. I was a little nervous there for a second. I was like, man, Aaron Rodgers is about to freaking go off on us. But it was good. It was good. A good game. Fun to watch. Got Chiefs tonight too, so that'll be a fun Monday night. Me and the fam did a couple. We painted pumpkins, or the kids painted pumpkins yesterday. Hung out at a buddy's house and just bounced around a little bit. It started getting cold, which I don't love, but that's true signs of fall moving straight into winter in true Kansas fashion. I think we're gonna have some frigid temps this week, which is
Yuck.
always fun. So, but yeah, not bad. Jesse, how about you, man? How was your weekend?
Not too bad. Hung out with the family. Got in our family portrait session yesterday when it stopped raining. And unlike you, I'm ready for the cold because that means hunting season.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, I can't. What was that?
I said, other than that, pretty relaxing. Dave?
Nice. I can't be excited because the Niners got beat yesterday, and it was pretty obvious that taking CMC out of the picture for offense just kind of made a lot of sense to why they got beat, and more injuries piling up. You know, we saw Scattaboo basically rip his ankle out of his body.
That picture of his foot just dangling in the air was a little
gross. I was glad to see Christian Watson back for you.
Yeah, he actually, he did a few things. So.
Didn't help the fantasy team, but at the same time, you know, it just goes to show that the Packers are going to be a threat as long as they can keep moving in the right direction.
Oh, look at that. Look at that bare baby face coming back.
Oh, welcome, Sean. Sean got it together.
Nice.
Together. I didn't even do anything.
Well, maybe your internet provider got it together so you could be on here with us.
Well, I'm definitely
Sean,
not connected to any
Sean,
internet.
Your cellular provider. My bad.
Well, Sean, we're on this morning with Jesse Kollmeyer. So I don't know if you can see him in your studio, but Jesse, let's go ahead and get rolling because I know you're obviously going to have to get back to your day job here pretty soon. So first and foremost, just appreciate you hopping on with us and, sharing a little bit about who you are. And that's kind of where we want to start. So go ahead and kind of introduce yourself a little bit, kind of tell us, where you are, what you do, and we'll kind of take you along some questions after that.
All right. So year 9 here at Mulvane High School. I coach girls softball and have been the head coach the last 9 years, and girls golf for the last 4.
Nice.
Originally from Derby, grew up with Dave here. And you and me go a little ways back.
Yeah.
I think in my first year of coaching baseball, I think I was 18 at the time.
Yep.
So we're talking 20 years ago.
Yep. Yep. Small world how that coaching circle kind of eventually comes full circle, I think, with a lot of relationships out there. But tell us a little bit about Mulvane. How are things going for you guys? Obviously year 9. Congrats on that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a long career doing sports.
Yeah, it's year 14 altogether. I just wrapped up golf. We had some good spots on the year, but just failed to make it out of regionals. We had a tough regional up in Topeka about a week ago. Volleyball had a tremendous year. They hosted this past weekend, had an injury during, the championship match, and the girls competed, but just fell short, but a great season on their end. We got cross country runners. I think we got 3 of them going to state this year.
Nice.
They just had their regional this weekend. And then, of course, football team, head coach Daniel Myers there is doing a tremendous job. He's got some athletes, and they've been, I think they're 6-1, 7-1 now. And they just had a win this past weekend. And, at Winfield. So
nice.
They're having a pretty good year. I think they rattled off 6 or 7 in a row.
That's awesome. So, Mulvane, I mean, for those of you guys that don't know or not necessarily from here, Mulvane, small Small town right outside of the Wichita area. I don't know the exact size by any means, but we have a baseball team that plays there as well in the summertime. Mulvane Patriots. The community there is amazing. They're awesome. We've been able to kind of tap in with the city and tap in just with our host family network and things like that. And the Mulvane sports community, they are on fire about that school. They freaking bleed that ugly green, and they even made us. Well, they didn't make us, but they strongly encouraged us
Suggested.
to get a Mulvane green style looking jersey for our baseball team, and I was like, okay, whatever, we'll do it. But yeah, no, they bleed for the school out there, man. They're really all about it, and obviously, I think that's why you guys are having some success in the area that you are in. But tell us a little bit about the softball program. Obviously, you guys are a little bit out still, probably getting ready for winter workouts, or the I don't even know what you guys are able to do or not do with the shackles of Keisha that are a thing now. Tell us about the program. I know softball, you made a comment on one of our posts about softball and, following it and being a part of it, which is something my mom was a big time softball player and I have a passion for softball. I've trained a lot of softball girls. So I love softball. So I want to hear a little bit about that and about your guys' program. So
I also want to hear about that fence issue that you're still dealing with.
Yeah, that fence is coming down. It limits my access to storage and makes me walk, extra 50 feet each time. It's kind of a headache.
yeah.
I think that's where that hairline went, Dave, that you talked about earlier.
Oh dang! Oh dang!
The added stress.
Yep.
So, no, year 9. We've had quite a good run these last 4 or 5 years. When I took over the program in I think 2017, 2018, I was a senior strong class, and I didn't really have anything below them. I think that first year, I'll rattle off some scores for you. I think we're 7-14 that first year. And then the next year, my stud pitcher that I was going to have, tore her ankle up, and I was our only athlete, and we ended up losing every game. I think we got run rolled every game. And so we've had our ups and downs, and then COVID year hit, and then I had a pretty strong freshman class coming in. I think they started as freshmen, and we won 4 games that year, and we went 4-17. And then the following year, kicked it up. We went 12-9, and then the next year with their seniors finally, we ended up, hosting a regional and winning it, and went to state that year, and 17-6, I believe, on the year.
Awesome.
And then, the following year after that, 18-10, and then last year, right around that 18-10 mark again.
So significant improvements with consistency there.
Yeah, I mean, and of course, it's no credit to me. It's credit to the athletes that I got coming through this school, because anybody can coach it, but if you got the athletes, it shows. And we got a lot of good talent. I mean, this year, I'm going to have a junior starting pitcher that started since her freshman year in game 2, and she's made the transition last year to game 1. Her name's Sophie Bruce. I'm going to have a sophomore pitcher that pitched all last year as a freshman. I can't think off the top of my head, but I think she was like 8-2 on the year. And
wow.
Gracie Warner's her name. Real strong, big girl. And then
Wait, we went to high school with her parents, her mom, right?
I think so. We
Yeah,
did.
I think we did.
So you know who I'm talking about then?
Yes,
Oh, what's her name? She's gonna be mad if she sees this.
I think it's
can't think of it off-
Jessica.
What?
Jessica?
There you go. What's her maiden name?
Oh man,
Yeah, you brought it up, bud.
I know. I don't remember her maiden name, but I know who we're talking about here.
But she's gonna be pretty good. I mean, she's got the tools for it. She's got the body build. She's real tall and lanky, and she's growing into her body, and she's just getting stronger each day. I have a freshman catcher last year that led the team in home runs. It's coming back this year. It's just drops bombs. And I
Led
don't
the
know
team and
how
home
else to
runs.
put
How
it.
many home runs are we talking about here?
Well, 6, and you talk about in high school,
That's still a
That's
lot.
still a
26 games.
lot. That's a good number.
and probably didn't hit her first one until game 11 or 12. So,
Oh wow, just got hot.
well, you take your freshman lumps, right? You
Yep.
come in, it's an adjustment. I
Yep.
mean, and I can get into the summer ball talk right now if we wanted to.
Yep.
But I mean, the big montage in this day and age is summer ball's number one. High school sports is number two. And I'm like, it's different because depending on the level that you're playing at, if you go and play the 14, 15 age group, well, you're just playing 14 and 15. Get into high school, you're playing 18, 17, 16, 15. So it's a step up, and it's a change, and you're going to have adversity. And she faced it and handled it well and really turned it on towards the end of the year.
That's
So,
awesome. Yeah, I mean, we preach that obviously, about Parisi and kind of what we do here, and we have a lot of those conversations with our athletes, so that way, they're not caught off guard, right? Like it's great that, and I always kind of joke about it, but it's also the truth because I do a lot of college ball, and it's like, it's awesome that you guys won the 13-year-old major blah blah whatever down in Louisiana, whatever it was. Like that's awesome, but the reality of it is the next jump, you're going to be dealing with a pool of athletes that is much bigger. It's much wider. Like there's age groups there, but the age is all at the same level now. And you're going to have to deal with being able to play with someone and against someone that's, essentially 3 years older than you. How are you going to respond to that? Because there's a lot that happens in that span, right? That's why, freshmen typically, it takes, like you said, a little bit of time for them to get sped up to the game. And that speed of the game it's a massive increase, and people just underestimate, what that change is going to be. And then they get hit in the mouth a few different times, and then they're like, oh, wait a minute here. Like, what's this? What's that? And, a lot of times, obviously, you're a high school coach. I'm sure, we'll ask some questions on that too. But a lot of times then they, start looking around and looking for people to blame on those things. And it's like, well, at the end of the day, sports are about looking in the mirror, and you got to understand that, you're in control of your production and what you're going to do. And you got to be able to, perform and put yourself in a position to succeed. With your team, obviously you're progressing, right? So like you guys, you're getting better year to year, finding different things. And I'm sure year one when you were coaching to where you are right now, there's a lot of things that have changed for you. I think as coaches, right? Like when you first get started, you kind of have that flame or that fire, and things change, and then you start to do things differently. But what are some of the things that over the years maybe that you've developed, and things that you feel like you're doing better now in comparison to what you did when you started, and then how do you also kind of keep that passion alive for what it is that you do? Because here's another big news flash for people out there. This one always kills me, but most high school coaches, they're coaching high school sports because they love them, they love the kids, they want to give back, they care about people, they care about their journeys. It's not because high school coaches are getting paid an extra $30,000-$40,000 a year to do the job. So like people think, like, oh, they should do this and do that. It's like, man, I don't think you really understand how much people, high school coaches, are volunteering their efforts and time and energy and sacrifice from their families to just give opportunities to kids. So that's a big passion of mine. But yeah, tell us a little bit about that journey for yourself.
I mean, you hit the nail on the head there. I got 3 kids at home, and half the time I wish, I could be at home with them or going to their sporting events. It's a sacrifice. And, with my wife, she coaches in the spring too down at Arc City. We sacrifice a lot. You talked about the word adapting. Well, I don't know if you said adapting, but I'd call it adapting, especially because, I like to quote Bill Shaw here, Dave.
Oh
And
boy.
that is, it's not about the X's and O's, it's about the Jimmys and Joes. So, uh,
Throwback.
it's building those relationships. That's I've got to become a lot better at, and in this ever changing society, it's a cliche. They don't care what you know until they know how much you care, and in this ever changing world, especially with social media out there today, it's how many likes can I get and this and that. And, you almost got to take the back step on that and more worried about the athlete than itself, and creating that relationship and promoting them over yourself. in a sense, it's becoming more of a selfless job. You can't really be focused on you, or if not, you're going to be out the door quick.
Yep.
Because,
Yep.
getting in and shoot, coaching for the Reds back in the day, all I wanted to do was win. And all I want to do is win, but you still got to develop your players. You got to build those relationships. And if you don't, time's going to catch up with you and you'll be gone. So
It takes that investment to be a coach and to really make an impact in your community.
Yeah.
You quoted Coach Shaw, so we might as well just give him a shout out. Coach Shaw, Bill Shaw, coached us at Derby, whether that was football, baseball, anything that he had in his, I guess, portfolio of coaching opportunities.
yeah, he coached at Derby, Wellington with Tom Young, and
Friends.
Ellsworth, Kansas, I think is where he first started. So there's a shout out for him. But
So Jesse, what are some like for your players or people that might look at you playing in your program or looking at wanting to play high school sports and then obviously beyond, what would you kind of like pieces of advice for those kids? Let's do a 2-point question here, right? Let's do the athletes that are playing travel ball. They're running around doing different things in that whole space. What would your pieces of advice be to them to be able to, one, make a high school team, right? Like, what are the things that they should be focusing on? And then let's say the kids that are in high school programs, right? If you're a high school coach and trying to essentially get your referral into college programs, right? What are some pieces there in that 2-point question to kind of? Oh, whoa!
Oh
Where'd Jesse
no,
go?
Jesse disappeared.
Oh man, that was a good question.
It's that small town internet.
Hey, Sean's still
Still
rocking.
there. Let me see. Let's check in on Sean real quick. Yo, Sean, how's the drive?
Drive's all right. I'm just grinding now. I-35. Just passed through Ankeny, grabbed some coffee, so I'm in Des Moines right now. I'm glad you muted
Well, what
me.
was for breakfast?
I grabbed some Cases pizza naturally.
Of course. Yes, naturally. Any donuts?
No, because my mom made brownies last night, so those are going to substitute the donuts for now.
Very nice.
See if you can get Jesse back on there. Sean, how about our boys in Iowa this weekend?
Belt
Yes.
to ass.
Yes. All right. Well, there's Jesse back. He's just muted now. All right. There we go.
I
You
don't
hear
know
me,
what
Jesse?
happened.
No, you're good. I was asking you just a 2-point question. So for people that are kind of watching and people that are hopefully eventually tuning into this to see you, a 2-point question. If there's athletes that are out there that are trying to play in high school, right? Like they're playing the travel ball scene and they want to be able to make a high school team and maybe stand out on a high school team as a young freshman. What pieces of advice would you give them? But then also the second point of that question is the kids that are out there that are on high school teams, the obvious, you got to produce in high school to be able to play at the next level in college. But what are things that would help them kind of get your referral in the sense from a coaching aspect to be able to move on to college and, for you to say, oh no, this girl or guy in a different sport, but this girl's got it to be able to play?
Good 2-part question there. Okay. So a lot of it is, what are you doing outside of the time I have with you, especially in season? Because, in high school sports, it's maybe a 2.5-hour practice each day. That's not enough time. You got to be putting in the work yourself outside of the time you have with your team. And then what's your body language? What's your attitude? When things are not going great, what are you doing? Are you still the same person that, hey, I'm hyping up my teammates. I'm there. I'm going to be there for them. Even though my world, I just went 0 for 4 and 4 Ks. If my attitude's terrible, you're probably not going to play much. Coaches recognize that and they see it. I mean, especially, you get into the older years of your high school career, junior and senior year, when college coaches are coming to visit you and watch you. They don't care if you go for 4 in front of them. They want to see what you're doing outside of that. Are you still a good teammate? Are you still bringing that energy that is needed to, make everybody around you successful? Just because you're not doing well, there's still other little parts of the game that you can provide. And that's what ultimately, college coaches are looking for, because they're going to know if you have the tools to hit, field, throw. But It's the tangibles of, am I coachable? Am I a good teammate? Am I just a positive person? Mike Viramontes out of Dodge City, he had a great quote the other day is this somebody that I want to ride in a van with for 8 hours to go travel and play? Do I want to be around them? So your energy, of course, and the vibe you put off, not necessarily your vibe, but just your positive attitude is, you got to have that. Because as you know it, Sheldon, playing baseball, and Dave with softball and everything, it is a very, what's the word I'm looking for? You're going to fail more than succeed.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if you're talking, MLB and the Hall of Fame, if you're a 330 hitter, that's considered success. That's 33% of the time out of 100, you're going to fail. So how do you bounce back? Can I answer that?
Yeah. No, that's perfect. I think that in to your point, the the travel ball scene, no matter what level that's at, and I'm not against that by any means. It's just
No,
you
me
get
neither.
so wrapped up in these people worrying about these statistical markers and all of this data and just all of these things, and they start to overlook the fact that it's great that you can do some of those things on the field, but how you carry yourself and the type of teammate you're going to be holds a lot more value when people are trying to select pieces to their puzzle that they're trying to put together, and ultimately that puzzle it equals to winning culture. And because without culture you're not going to be able to be successful. And you can have great baseball, football, basketball, whatever it is. Like, you can have great players, but if you're trying to win championships and you're trying to do the things that everybody is soughting after, it takes more than just being good on the field. And that's just the realities of it. So,
Uh-oh, is that your dinner bell?
It is. Uh, one of the things that I I always revert back to the year that we went to state 2 years, 3 years ago, and Jalen Lavers was her name, and she was a great leader and led by example. Really brought the energy. Was always positive, even when things weren't going. But adding on to what you just said, is you got to have that good culture. And if you're not a good piece of that culture, and all you do is bring negativity, it's seen and it's shown, and your coaches recognize it. I mean, um, you know, like you talked about with the summer ball scene, I'm not against it either, but they pay attention to that data, points and whatnot, and sometimes that's just not everything that it consists of, and so forth. But beyond that, yeah, my day is cut short here. I appreciate you having me on. Now you're good.
Time to go teach, man. Thanks for jumping on and giving us some of your time. We'll chat again soon.
Yes. Hope to be back on soon. So Sheldon, good seeing you. Dave, as always. Sean, maybe next time, buddy.
yeah.
We'll talk to you later.
All
He's
right.
just frozen in time over there. That's okay.
I know.
Appreciate you,
Bye.
Jesse. Thanks for hopping on, man.
All right,
See
bye,
ya.
Sheldon.
See you, bud. That's funny. Yeah, Jesse, good guy. A little backstory. He coached me. I think he was probably 18 and I was probably like 13, maybe. I don't know what our age difference is exactly, but coached me in some travel ball stuff. And so obviously it's cool to see him still coaching and being a part of, different sports related things that are around here and doing quite a bit, because I know him and his wife are relatively involved, and he does a little bit of everything. So a little bit of farming, a little bit of some jerky stuff. He's got a new venture he's working on. He shared some info, which we can't share with anybody yet, but so he's doing some cool things, cool for the community, obviously trying to be impactful here and do things in our community. And, he's coaching, the up and coming stars of Mulvane, Kansas. Gotta love that. But Sean, are you frozen in time over there, or is he just
He appears to be frozen in time.
okay?
We don't hear anything, so his connection is probably a little lighter. But since we're talking about Mulvane, let's kind of get a little plug in for the Mulvane Patriots.
Yeah.
I mean, we're entering what, year 3? Yeah, this
Is it year 3?
2025 closed out year 2.
Yeah, I think that's right.
So, we've moved in a cool direction with them. They have a mascot, as you can see in our background. The guy in the middle with the old settler hat on there, Pat the Patriot. we love being involved in the community, and we had such a great community presence this year. It was pretty sweet to receive that, best of the best in entertainment opportunity through the chamber. Every year we've been working on doing something special, and the chamber really steps up and jumps in to do an opening day fireworks show. Obviously rain hurt us this year, but the previous year it's just been an awesome way to open up the channels for everything that we've had. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Mulvane's been awesome, man. They're a true through and through sports community. Like, and you kind of get that feel when you're in there. Like, we're in a lot of small communities, but like, not to, and they're all different, right? Some are, heavily invested in other areas, and some of them, just have like their own kind of, vibe about them in the sense of their community stuff. And I would say out of all the locations that we're in, Mulvane probably has the most sports driven kind of forward thinking mentality,
Sure.
at least from fanship, right? And at least from the actual like community members. I don't know if that's shared across, all of the, from a school or scholastic mentality, because they definitely could use some updates in some areas, that's for sure. But maybe they'll get some bonds and get some things figured out with that, because they got a really good baseball team. Baseball team's stacked with some studs. I think they might be one of the only teams in the state that has like 3 or 4 90+ mile an hour arms,
Oh yeah.
as a high school baseball team, which is pretty solid. You're gonna win some games with high school hitters if you got guys throwing that hard. Um, so that's kind of cool. And the community comes out. We had our 4th of July event there this year. That was, for the All-Star game for KCLB. That was big.
That was a huge deal.
Yeah, they came out and showed out for that, which was a lot of fun. Which is good. It's just good to see, that type of impact with
What,
different things that are happening.
speaking of that, is that something that we can announce or anything? Like, are we doing it again there?
Yeah, I mean, like, do whatever we want. Yeah.
Yeah, so the All-Star event will be back in Mulvane, with Kansas Star Casino, and Empire Tacos.
Yeah, well, I don't know that Empire Tacos is 100% yet, but I know Kansas Star Casino is all about it.
So
So,
I talked to him.
oh, did you?
I talked to
Okay.
Martine.
Okay. Yeah. Which was awesome. That event was really cool. For those of you, out there that don't know, the KCLB puts that on for the entirety of the league. And everybody comes. We have a home run derby. It's a blast. There's some guys that, come out and smack the ball around, which is fun to watch. And, especially seeing college guys that are using wood bats and still able to get the ball out of the ballpark is pretty fun. It's a cool, team style of an event. It gives all of our guys chances to meet guys on the other team where they're essentially competing against them, but it's more of like fun, I guess, or just family friendly.
Yeah.
They just get a chance to hang out, and they get a chance to meet guys and talk to them. And we did a lot of cool little, social stuff. And
Media day relations type
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Shout out to the photographers in Mulvane who showed up and
Yeah,
did
they did
some.
really well.
Yeah,
Really well.
yeah, and then the event itself was well put together. So thanks for that, for all that were involved.
Yeah, that was fun. It was a good time there, and their team was competitive all summer. Like they had their ups and downs like everybody else, but competitive. But crowds were always good. People always came out. They supported the stuff that was happening there, which ultimately for those small town teams, like that's the lifeblood of why they can be around. They got to have support. They got to have people in the community that want to come out and want to be a part of what they're doing. And it's just about making that better, on a year to year basis, and kind of trying to embody that spectator baseball mentality of having fun things to do, little games here and there, having community partners out to do some fun stuff. Like it's just it's cheap entertainment at the end of the day, and they get an opportunity to meet these guys from all across the world, which I think's cool. Let me see if I don't know if
Gage?
he doesn't. You don't need headphones.
No.
Let's actually see. Let's see if we can have him hop on here real
Yeah,
quick.
maybe Coach Gage Walker is available. All these guys are in school, so we're excited that they take a little bit of time out of their day just for us and all that good stuff. But this Friday is Halloween. So we'll be at the Trunk or Treat on Main Street with Pat Settler handing out candy, being involved in the community and showcasing that with our team. We'll it's one of those things that we love to do and be a part of it. If it's anything like the Park City Trunk or Treat, I'm in for a tough day. That thing was wild. Last Friday, we went to the Park City Trunk or Treat, and I promise you, I bet you I gave out 1,500 pieces of candy, and it was nonstop from the time that it said 5 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Yeah, that line. I remember pulling up because I had Scout with me when I got there, and that line was all the way out the building. And the one that we did this weekend for Parisi, it was the same thing. That line was wrapped all the way around the boathouse, and then it went around the boat, and then it came back up through it. I was just like, holy moly! We just sat there, just candy, 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 candy. So it's fun though. Those things are a lot of fun. They're pretty laid back, and just handing out candy and making fun of kids in their costumes basically in a fun way. But there's so many costumes that I didn't even know. All these new shows, like there's
Oh
so many
man.
new shows and new games. And these kids are like diehards about them. I'm like, what the heck are you? And they're like, oh, you've never heard of so and so from so and so? And I'm like, no, I have not, but cool costume, dude. Like, see ya. There was easily 15 of those, and Naj was with me at ours this weekend, and he's same boat. He was just like, dude, I ain't never heard of none of this. He's like, I have not seen these. And then we had a few classics, Star Wars every once in a while. Got that one. There was a few in there where I'm like, oh man, I haven't seen that in a long time. But yeah, it was pretty wild. So
Chartrand and I were just blown away by the generations of Captain America that showed up. There was a family that had 3 boys. So you start off with the original Captain America suit, the next generation, and then Dad was the final iteration of Captain America. And then
funny.
I had to ask Chartrand about who on earth is Roblox or Minecraft, because there were some characters walking around. I was like, what is that? So I ended up just asking kids. I'm like, hey, what are you?
I don't think I know
And
the difference.
I definitely didn't. I learned, but yeah, and seeing some of the mighty, what is it, kitties or something, mighty kitties or something like that, and the Paw Patrols, and
I mean, I know Paw Patrol. Bank's a big Paw Patrol fan.
yeah, but you guys, I've watched some of that kitties show with Scout and Banks. I just don't remember if it's Mighty Kitties or something like that. I don't know. It's like a spinoff of your Paw Patrol stuff, in my opinion, but I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah, just wild.
Yep. Halloween will be fun though, and always a good time. Gage says that he's got too many kids in his detention room, so he probably can't hop on right now. So because he doesn't have headphones. So
That's fair.
it's all good. No big deal. We'll have him on at some point in time. We do a little Mulvane podcast and go into that. Jesse was, kind of a flyer this morning, which was cool. But it was cool. I think it's fun to, kind of dive into some of those head coaches, mentalities. What?
Jesse just texted me. He said, "Hey man, move your fence."
What?
The fence that he has to walk around to get to the storage shed for the softball with the Mulvane, the beer garden fence, the fence that goes around the facility. He doesn't like that there's not a gate directly in front of it. So he just wants to throw some shade out there. It's too funny.
You could use the extra steps. You'll be all right. Get your steps in, buddy. But yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool to hear that. I think that, a lot of times, especially young athletes, like parents just get they're too involved in too many areas when it comes to thinking why their kid is this and that. And I get it, right? Like I understand. You want your kid to play. You want them to have the experiences. You want all of those things, but the realities of it is like the kids have to do it. And if they don't want it, they don't want to put the extra work in. It's not the coach's fault. Like quit making it the coach's fault. It's not their fault. So, it was straight from what he said. He's like, man, we get 2.5 hours with these kids. What are you doing outside of here? Like what? And we, on the Parisi side, we always talk about, it's if you want average results and you want to be like everybody else, then do what everybody else does, right? Everybody else goes to their school weights. Everybody else goes to their school practice. Everybody else just does the minimums, which is what the school provides. And
Calling that enough?
well, and that's the thing is if you think that's enough with how competitive sports are in this day and age, you are in for a rude awakening. But then if you spend your free time, quote unquote, free time, and all you're doing is activities that do not pertain to your development inside of the thing that you say you want to be better at, then the writing is just on the wall. Like, don't make that somebody else's problem. Just be okay with the fact that you're not going to get to do the things that some of the other athletes are going to get to do. Like, it's just it's so black and white when you try to keep it simplistic and take the emotion out of it and take the whininess out of it ultimately. And I'm not saying it's a straight line across. It's not, not every situation is the exact same, but it is a high probability, there is a high chance that the kids that are doing the most work are usually the ones that are getting the results. Like, and it's kind of that simple. It's not, and that goes across everything, I think. But, it's cool to hear that out of the high school, kind of, rank, if you will, or, just the culture that they have there. Because obviously, as he said, like they had a program that was, maybe not failing, but just kind of at the bottom.
Just
Yeah,
They,
what
they
I
were
mean?
there. They were there. They were
He went
there.
0 games one year and then 4 games one year, and, he kept kinda stacking them up and kept getting better, and like you said, part of that's out of his control, right? Like, you have what you have when
Yeah.
you're first getting started, and you gotta kinda build some awareness about, the type of program you're gonna run, and people have to want to go there, and with high school sports in this day and age, that they got their own dang mini transfer portal, basically.
With open enrollment and all
Yeah,
that good stuff.
like,
It's just if you're good enough, we're gonna come get you.
yeah,
You know.
and that's, kind of the Wild West and whole different topic. But, I mean, those athletes, they have to take accountability in that aspect on pieces of it. And I'm not saying again, it's not just a straight line thing. It's not, oh well, I hit, an extra 2 hours every day and I do this an extra hour every day. Like it's not just that. Like you have to, you have to be well rounded in many different facets to be a good athlete, and you have to be able to take that accountability and do it. But high school level stuff, if you're out there and you're busting your butt and you're doing things outside of it and you're staying consistent and you're a good athlete, there's going to be spots on teams for you. Like it's just they're going to find ways to get you onto the field.
Yeah,
And
your motor matters.
yeah,
Yeah, that motor is everything, not just physically. It's mental, your mental game, and all of those things. Got to train all of that
yep,
because that what we always say that the jump to a college program from high school is significant. It's even more so than or it's even a bigger jump going from high school to D1, like a D1 power school.
yeah. I mean, common people just have no clue the level that big Division 1 programs play at. And it's all sports. It's not just your big ones, right? Like they just I mean, the level that those athletes are on is
Percentages, like
it's just a whole different animal. And those are the kids, very rarely are those the kids that are like, oh yeah, like I just, I'm just really, really good at this sport. You know what I mean? Like, no, dude, those are the kids that, they are grinding it out. Like they are working on it. It's a 5-day a week commitment. They care about that. And, they love it. Like they love that portion of it, which is why they're able to move along. And some of it, genetics, right? Some of it is things that, I can't control, you can't control. Like there is pieces of that. And guess what? That's life. Like that's the reality of it. Like there's not a ton of, 5'5" Division 1 athletes. Like there's just not, like there's not. And
are you going back to the Pappas conversation?
yeah. I mean, there's just and those are harsh realities that a lot of athletes have to look in the face. Now, does it mean that it's not possible? No, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that it's not possible. It doesn't mean that you can't be the outlier or, be that, 0.000 whatever percent and make those things happen because people do it. And that is a small chance. Like there is a chance that it can happen. You have to be able to control what you put into it and how you go about doing it. So, no matter the level, no matter where you go, it's always going to boil back down to that, the old the old whatever, the attitude and effort are the two things that you can control. And, those things speak volumes when it comes to, team sports and putting yourself around other people and that type of stuff. But yeah, I don't know that we'll have anybody else on today.
With Sean driving and the scarcity of the cell service, it's tough to bring him in and have him on today. So
Yeah, that one's a tough one, but Mulvane's awesome. Definitely check out Mulvane. Check out, the stuff that they have going on in the community. Obviously they got the event this weekend. Do we have any other events that are kind of scheduled out there in the fall time looking into winter?
I haven't seen any event schedule lately, but I know there's some Christmas stuff that'll take place, and we'll be involved there, and just try to do everything that we can to build out with the community itself.
Yeah. Well, if you're listening to this and you got some suggestions, or, you have some ties to, whatever it is, whether it's big community, small community, whatever sports program, whatever it is that you think should get some attention, make sure that you shoot us a message, DM us, send something over to us, because we want to highlight different programs and talk about what's going on, and so people can, get some eyes and ears into some places that they may not know much about. Because that's kind of the goal. But yeah, Mulvane. Hopefully, Mulvane softball has a good season. Baseball. Hopefully, you guys keep plugging away there as well. I know we're kind of tied in with the baseball program a little more, but knowing Jesse and what we're doing with the softball now, or at least a little bit more of it, I hope that they have a great season. And hopefully those girls are. Well, I guess we are getting ready to. From a little Parisi plug here, we got Mulvane Junior football that's going to be coming in here over the next week or so. What is this? We're the 27th. Yeah. So not this week, but next week. So we'll be working. If you're a part of that program, Parisi's going to be doing some stuff with them. So make sure that you check that info out. So we're going to try and tie into Mulvane a little bit more. Maybe we'll find us a little baby Gronk or something out in Mulvane that we can get on the pod and do some interviews with. But that'll be a good time. Getting into those small communities, giving those kids a platform, I think is a lot of fun. And with the goals in mind of what we're trying to do, and kind of keep pushing along. So yeah, I don't think I have any other Mulvane topics. You got anything else there?
No, I just saw that the tree lighting for the Christmas tree lighting for the community is the 20th, and then there's the Christmas celebration on December 6th. So, just pop in and look at the community chamber events. And
yeah, if you're in the Wichita area, go branch out. Go to some of these small town events. They're a lot of fun. Like they do a really good job, and it's a little bit more of a small family friendly type, feel, I guess. So go out, get involved with some of those things. We've had a lot of fun at those different events, and we've taken the kids to all kinds of different stuff now. Those are fun. They're enjoyable, and the people are awesome, and you'll kind of feel like you're in a small little extended family out there.
Oh yeah, the communities definitely show up and show out for those little events. So we're always excited to be a part of it. So.
There you go, Gage. Well, we'll definitely do a podcast about the Mulvane Patriots and do something kind of individual with them. Talk about that team a little bit more in detail. Gage will be able to hop on one of these days if we plan it out, which would be good.
Sure.
So that would be good. I don't know. Any other Mulvane topics? That's about it.
I mean, you have their football team. Jesse covered that. Where I guess basketball season is going to be coming up. We'll have to dig into more of that. I can't say that we're big basketball guys, but we'll figure it out. I mean, it's
I trained some. I'm basketball, not really. I mean, I played good defense. That's what I always say. So defensively, that's my basketball.
Hands, quick hands.
Get on top and just try to take the ball away every single time.
I also know Mulvane's big in wrestling, so that's a big deal there, and I'm sure we have some athletes that'll come through with the junior football.
They probably already had their fall fest, huh?
Mulvane?
Yeah.
Old Sailor Days.
Okay, that's the same thing.
Gotcha. Yeah. Gotcha. That was a big one. I know Arkalala just happened in Ark City, Winfield area. That's another big one. That was this past weekend, and all the festivals are coming to a close because it's getting darker at like 6:10.
It's gonna start to get cold.
Yeah.
You can't do anything outside anymore.
Gross.
Good old Kansas weather. Everybody's buckling up for that. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, that's all the Mulvane stuff that I have. If there's anything you want to add, let's do that. And
Yeah, no, I mean, this week should be fun. I got some guys that I've been reaching out to hop on here, so hopefully we can get some schedules lined up and get some more people on. I reached out to Brody Jarvis, who I just saw stat line for him. He's a Mays football player, baseball player for sure. I don't know if he plays anything in the winter. He might wrestle. He's been around, played on I believe he played with the Cluckers one year in the Summer Ball Showdown and kind of been around the program a little bit from time to time, different things. Reached out to him. I was going to try and get him on this morning, but he's obviously in school too. So just got to figure out a time that works. But he had another pick six, which I think he has like 5 or 6 of those things this year. So
What?
yeah. He plays for Mays. They're 7-0, obviously won whatever region or whatever they're going to. I don't know. Being successful. So a lot of cool things that are happening there. So I'm going to try and get him on this week. Just kind of do some other recaps of some of the programs that are going right now, because obviously regional, we got a couple coaches I want to get on. I want to try and get Brock and Garrett on here and let them do some chatting. Got the Andale boys. I'm reaching out to them as well too. Talk to some of the Andale guys. So if you guys got anybody or any other suggestions on who we should have hop on, we should definitely do that. But other than that, I don't know. I'm just excited to keep it going, keep rolling along, and
Yeah, I was going to
keep
pull up some
chatting.
scores that could have happened this weekend. I know the big upset was huge on my feed. Old Bishop Carroll.
Yeah, shout out to Brock out there. He
Yeah,
definitely sent
man.
our group chat that, which is funny.
Just trying to find some of those football things that
He's motivated after they got the Heights game and he won that game. Now he's on a little bit of a roll. Now he gets to troll everybody in the office.
just throw it all out there.
Plugging along. But yeah, I know Mays won. Oh, see, this is why we're much smaller than anything else out there. But K-State beat KU, so we didn't even mention that. That's probably what everybody's talking about today, but not our MO.
Capon took down Heights.
Yeah, it's probably should have happened.
Yeah.
I think Andover ended up beating Andover Central. I saw a highlight about that.
Yep, 28-14.
Yeah.
And then you have Andale just taking it to Heston,
What's new?
57-0.
Go up in ranking.
Dodge
Good
City took out
Lord.
East High School.
At least play 4A. Like, just make the step to 4A.
Remember the conversation about Great Bend being good at football? They beat Garden City 41-14.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Great Bend's got the kid that's going to Notre Dame. I'm gonna try and get him.
Yeah, and then you got Pratt beating Cheney. Salina Central beat Goddard by a tutty.
That's probably a pretty close game.
McPherson took down Bueller, rolling through all these little scores here. Ooh, Valley Center beats Hayesville or Campus High School.
Yeah, I don't think Campus is a wine game. Pretty sure they're defeated.
They're defeated.
Ugly season.
Rose Hill beat Independence. Hayes South versus Hutch. Yuck. 47-28 Hutch. Oh, there's the one score that I really don't want to talk about, but it's in our chat. 24-20.
The upset. The Catholics keep going.
Hayes took out Liberal. Then you have Northwest beat Eisenhower 56-27.
Yeah, Pappas we talked to Pappas on Friday. He had a good game still. I think he had 3 tutties and like 300 something yards.
1,400 milligrams of caffeine. Just absolutely up there. Trinity beat Nickerson. Just rolling down here.
12 carries, 230 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
12 carries.
Yeah.
He touched the ball 12 times and had that many yards.
Yeah.
Oof.
Still had a game, but wasn't happy.
Yeah.
Losing's never fun.
Yeah, not fun at all.
Well, all right. Well, that kind of wraps it up for us. Good day today, kicking off the week. We got some cool stuff on the horizon, so make sure you guys are tuning in for that. Make sure you guys follow us on the social media stuff. I am plugging away at that, trying to make sure that we're relevant on there. So make sure you follow us on there on our TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff. Kansas Sports HQ. I think both of them are kansas.sports.hq. So you can hop onto that one and kind of close us out with our closing prayer. And, hopefully you guys are having a good Monday and go from there. But all right, dear God, I pray for my loved ones, my friends, and my family, that each of them would come truly to know you, open their hearts to your love and truth. I pray they would accept Jesus as Lord and Savior, finding life, peace, and purpose in you. Romans 10:9 says, if you declare with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. I hold on to this promise and ask for salvation to sweep through every life that I care about. Draw them close, Lord. In Jesus' name, Amen. I'd like to say, I've been following this prayer room on Instagram. Just a plug for them. It's awesome. I read these literally every single day. And it's just a cool little reminder, and they have cool different pieces on there. So Sean usually leads us in prayer, but I thought that would be a good time to just kind of pop that one in there and introduce that. So hope you guys have a great week. Hope you guys tune in to us for the rest of the week, and we appreciate everybody that's kind of checking in so far. And that is all that we got.
Oh, man. Thanks for joining us on Kansas Sports HQ, episode 6. We're going to call it Small Town Sports, featuring Jesse Kollmeyer, Sheldon Howell, and myself, Dave Bush. You guys have a great day.